So first exercise for you to do, and don't do it now, just make a note and do it when you go home, is to do a personal SWOT for yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What opportunities are available to you, and what are the threats that you will face if you do not work on your weaknesses? Do that for yourself. Ask those who are close to you for their opinion about these things. Sometimes we do not know our own strengths, we do not know our weaknesses. And listen to them. If they tell you, don't argue with them, don't fight with them. Ask them, take on board what they tell you, and then you decide what to do with it, but don't argue with them, because otherwise people will not give you feedback. Which brings me to my 7 rules of entrepreneurship, which inshallah we will go through one by one. Now, I want to begin with this quote of Emerson's. He said, without ambition, one starts nothing. Without work, one finishes nothing. The prize will not be sent to you. You have to win it. You want to succeed? You have to work. You have to work very hard. And that's why you need passion, because without the passion, you will not work hard enough. There's no magic. People who are completely dedicated and single-minded, they succeed. And they succeed because of that reason. So, 7 qualities, 7 keys to success as an entrepreneur. Number 1 is quality. It is the platform on which everything runs. Number 2 is goal. Number 3 is a plan. Number 4 is commitment. Number 5 is learning. Number 6 is the people around you. And number 7 is the legacy. Now we come to the first of them, which is the basic platform on which all of this runs, which is quality. Quality is not your opinion. Quality has a number. So measure quality. There are any number of quality measurement parameters. Depending on what kind of work you are doing, ensure that you are actually measuring the quality of your output. What is the benchmark? Who are your benchmarks? What are the metrics that you are using? How do you know that you are delivering a quality product? That must be very clear. Understand that excuses do not change reality. As we say, a PowerPoint does not make a lousy presentation good. If it's lousy, it's lousy. Excuses do not change reality. And the last one is, chase quality and success will chase you. Why quality? Because quality is about you, it's not about them. Now, a question of business idea. So let me take you to and show you a movie.
Welcome to Bayeku, a riverine community in Ikorodu, Lagos, a vivid representation of several riverine communities across Nigeria, communities whose waterways have been infested by an invasive aquatic weed, communities where economic livelihoods have been hampered, fishing, marine transportation, and trading, communities where fish yields have diminished, communities where school children are unable to go to school for days, sometimes weeks on end. Who would have thought that this plant with round leaves, inflated stems, and showy lavender flowers would cause such havoc in these communities? The plant is known as water hyacinth, and its botanical name, Iconia crassips. Interestingly, in Nigeria, the plant is also known by other names associated with historical events as well as myths. In some places, the plant is called Babangida. When you hear Babangida, you remember the military and military coups, and you think fear, restraint. In parts of Nigeria in the Niger Delta, the plant is also known as Abiola. When you hear Abiola, you remember annulled elections, and you think dashed hopes. In the southwestern part of Nigeria, The plant is known as gbeboro. Gbeboro is a Yoruba phrase which translates to gossip or talebearer. And when you think of gossip, you think rapid reproduction, destruction. And in the Igala-speaking part of Nigeria, the plant is known as akpiekpoma. When you hear that, you think of death. It literally translates to death to mother and child. I personally had my encounter with this plant in the year 2009. It was shortly after I had relocated from the US to Nigeria. I had quit my job in corporate America and decided to take this big leap of faith. A leap of faith that came out of a deep sense of conviction that there was a lot of work to do in Nigeria in the area of sustainable development. And so here I was in the year 2009, actually at the end of 2009, in Lagos on the Third Mainland Bridge. And I looked to my left and saw this very arresting image. It was an image of fishing boats that had been hemmed in by dense mats of water hyacinth. And I was really pained by what I saw because I thought to myself, oh, these poor fisher folk, how are they going to go about their daily activities with these restrictions? And then I thought, there's got to be a better way. A win-win solution whereby the environment is taken care of by the weeds being cleared out of the way, and then this being turned into an economic benefit for the communities whose lives are impacted the most by the infestation of the weed. That, I would say, was my spark moment. And so I did further research to find out more about the beneficial uses of this weed. And out of the several, one struck me the most. It was the use of the plant for handicrafts. And I thought, what a great idea. Personally, I love handicrafts, especially handicrafts that are woven around a story. And so I thought, this could be easily deployed within the communities without the requirement of technical skills. And I thought to myself, 3 simple steps to a mega solution. First step, get out into the waterways and harvest the water hyacinth. That way, you create access. Secondly, you dry the water hyacinth stems. And thirdly, you weave the water hyacinth into products. The third step was the challenge. See, I'm a computer scientist by background and not someone in the creative arts. And so began my quest to find out how I could learn how to weave. And this quest took me to a community in Ibadan where I lived called Sabo. Sabo translates to strangers' quarters. And the community is predominantly made up of people from the northern part of the country. So I literally took my dried weeds in hand, there were several more of them, and went knocking from door to door to find out who could teach me how to weave these water hyacinth stems into ropes. And I was directed to the shed of Malam Yaya. The problem, though, was that Malam Yaya doesn't speak English, and neither did I speak Hausa. But some little kids came to the rescue and helped translate. And that began my journey of learning how to weave and transform these dried water hyacinth stems into long ropes. With my long ropes in hand, I was now equipped to make products. And that was the beginning of partnerships, working with rattan basket makers to come up with products. So with this in hand, I felt confident that I would be able to take this knowledge back into the riverine communities and help them to transform their adversity into prosperity. So taking these weeds and actually weaving them into products that can be sold. So we have pens, we have tableware, we have purses, we have tissue boxes, thereby helping the communities to see water hyacinth in a different light, seeing water hyacinth as being valuable, being aesthetic, being durable, tough, resilient, changing names, changing livelihoods. From Gbeboron, gossip, to Olushotan, storyteller. And from Akpiekpoma, which is killer of mother and child, to Yadujenwiekpoma, provider of food for mother and child. And I'd like to end with a quote by Michael Margulies, He said, if you want to learn about a culture, listen to the stories. And if you want to change a culture, change the stories. And so, from Makoko community to Abobiri, to Ewoy, to Kolo, to Awawa, Esaba, we have changed the story. Thank you for listening.
I showed you this story for one reason. To explain to you that business ideas are floating around in the air around us. Everything has potential value. You just have to find it. I remember many years ago, I was in Nizamabad, and one of our very, very dear friends and elders, Jamil Bhai, asked me to go to a madrasa which was across from the house in the basti that is there. So I was going there, and Saad was with me, and Saad I thought he is here somewhere. Hi, Saad mein yaad rehta hai qissa. So we were going on. Nizamabad has to probably be one of the dirtiest cities in the world. Absolutely filthy, I mean unbelievably dirty. So Saad and I walking on the street, and it was filthy and it was stinking. So Saad said to me, "Yaar bhai, kya galis bo hai?" So I told him, "Saad galis bo nahi hai. Take a nice deep breath." He said, "What a dirty smell." I said, "Not dirty, take a nice deep breath." He said, "Why? What deep breath of what?" I said, "That's the smell of money." Saad mein yaad hai qissa? I said, "Smell of money." He said, "What do you mean smell of money?" I said, "That is the smell of money, because one of the biggest billionaires in the US is a guy who is called the garbage king." I said, "That is the smell of money, because you have all of this raw material, which is garbage, which is lying around free." I said, "What do you call a business where the raw material is free? Is it a good business or a bad business?" Very good business. The raw material is free. Normally you have to buy. Here it's free. Number one. I said, then what you do is, I said, you set up a business where you employ a lot of unskilled labor. And what skill does it take to pick up something? Unskilled labor, carry away this garbage, then convert this garbage into all kinds of products, alternate sources of energy, you name it. And you probably end up getting the state to pay for it as well, because they'll probably do it if you pitch it to them properly. And I said, 5 years later, you stand for election, you get elected, because you are known as the guy who gave employment to all these people and so on and cleaned up the place. Now whether Saad did it or not, I don't know, but the point I'm making is that ideas for business are everywhere, and that's the reason I said the mind has to be open. And I'm saying that because we come to after quality, we come to the first of the keys to success, which is the goal. And what is your goal? What should be your goal? Many times, a couple of times happened to me, people come to me and they say, I have this money, give me an idea. I said, best idea, give it to me. What's better than that, right? That's a stupid way of running life. You don't ask people for ideas. You look for ideas. There are ideas everywhere. So key things to ask, however, is this. And this is where becoming wedded or married to your idea is not a good idea. Now, what is the unique idea? You have a unique idea. You think it's unique. Why is it unique? And you need to have an objective answer to this question. Why do you think your idea is unique? Very important to answer any good business idea must do one of two things. It must provide a benefit or it must solve a problem. So, who does it benefit? What does it solve? Number 3 is your idea must have a strategy, must have milestones, and must have a timeline. 3 very important things. How are you going to succeed? What are the milestones? What are the things that tell you that you are on the right track? And by when will this happen? And the last one, perhaps the most important, is conscious learning from your mistakes. Not treating a mistake as if it's an insult to your manhood or something. No. Constantly learning from your mistakes. Important to ask, who else is excited by this idea? Because you can't succeed alone, you need people. Who else is excited? I gave you one case study, I told you another one. Let me give you a third one. Many of you probably buy this product which is called ID Fresh, which is idli dosa dough. Started by this guy called PC Mustafa in Kerala. And today it's a multi-million rupee, multi-million dollar business. How original is the idea of idli dosa? You know what I'm saying? It's not original, doesn't matter. The idea need not be original, but if it is used properly, it makes money. So don't worry about this great inspiration that's going to descend on you, it will not. See what you have, use what you have, and leverage that and keep on making it. Doesn't have to be new. I'm giving you the link is to that whole case study.